Okay, so if you're already here, what's up? I'm just gonna do a Siberia guide because I am sick and tired of having. I'm not naming names, but in fact, most of the people that that like do this are very nice people, but a lot of people will play hard once or twice, in like a session wise. If like 1 or 2 sessions, die a lot because you're playing hard, and then immediately feel jaded and just never touch it again. And I hate that, man. I hate it because there's so much more to it. Okay, first things first. First things first. You'll notice immediately you can see some enemies. The enemies you should see is that there's one that will come patrolling from at the start of the level from here all the way to here at this back bit, and then he walks to here, and he repeats that basically. There's one here, and there is one that is rotating along that way. I can show it, in fairness. They're coming along here. So that's the enemy placements. There's also one more, but that won't be a problem until later. So, first thing you have to concern yourself with is the input. So the start of the level, don't pick up this gun. It's really not needed. You only really need to grab the sniper, and it means you can be in better space to get here instead of going like all the way around like this. You get me? I hope you do. So once you've done that, you move forward like this, and you can choose different timings and stuff, but the general gist is that you headshot this guy and then hit this camera. So here's what it looks like in practice. And then you move along here, and then we'll get to the next part. So after you've done this bit, where you get these 2 shots, you have to kill this guy, because what happens is he will immediately jump back a mile. This is something that happens in TS. Is that enemies, when they spot you, they like do a mile back. And you can use this, with the knowledge that they'll do this, you can really abuse that and get a free headshot basically. Because you know where their head will be. So hug the wall so he doesn't see you, hit the camera, and then pretty much shoot as soon as the hay comes. Now I did that running, you do not have to do that. There you go. The idea is that you know where his head's going to be, and you do. You should know where his head is. So once you've done this bit, now you have to kill this enemy. After you kill this guy, should we look it around? It's fine, I just want something. So you see there, she was looking around, so she strained her neck to look around and stuff. That animation, she can't really see you from this distance, but it also makes it dead obvious where her head is, and you can just run by and shoot like that. Now that last one is a bit more technical, but the general gist is you learn the timing to just go by like this and shoot. It's just like a general thing you're gonna learn. That can only be learned by practice. Biggest thing, fucking practice, dude. Please practice. And then you come along here, and the same thing with that guy over there, except I think it's easier, because his head will be lower, and it lines up pretty perfectly for a headshot. And then after you headshot this enemy that's here, you will come up here. Notice this camera's gone, so you're going to be able to walk across here scot-free. Drop down here, open that door as you're going down. As you're coming down, you want to open that door, and then back up and grab the time mines. Time mines are super useful. They destroy the main thing that you need to do, like as a general objective, which are these filing cabinets. Now this is the last enemy I didn't tell you about because he's completely irrelevant. Why? Because when I open this and throw a mine in there, he's not going to do anything. So basically, ignore this guy. You do not need to kill him. If you want to make sure you kill him, you throw a mine here and then throw the mine in here before leaving, just to ensure he dies. So, what about these filing cabinets? So, these are the filing cabinets. There's 5 filing cabinets. This is the first one you're going to destroy. Now, you can just open them by hitting activate, and you can see it's destroyed already, but it wouldn't be, usually. when they're open, you can kind of just throw this anywhere, any old place, and it'll blow. This and these will get destroyed. But if you want to be cool, just throw it up here. This will destroy the file cabinet without even needing to activate it or anything. It's kind of weird, and it's very stupid. I don't know why it works like that. Shout out to Spoiler and Ironside for figuring this out. Okay, next bit. Basically, you run across here and you yeet this mine high up and try and hit this radar as you're running towards this second cabin. So, I'll just demonstrate. And then you can come in here. Now, there's a faster way to do this, and it's one thing we're going to do personally. And you'll notice that that dish is gone. But you don't even need to enter through here. You'll notice there's a window on this. And you can actually throw a mine through this window and do the same thing you did earlier with the cabinet. So that will blow up. That file cabinet will blow up because the mine was placed above it. And now this getting spotted by the cameras is actually led us to the exact next part of the level, and that's getting spotted. Getting spotted by the cameras now, rather than earlier, is actually good. This is what you want to do. The reason for that is because there's a locked door that does not let you progress even if you haven't done any of these objectives. The only other way to get it open is to activate a button in the main cabin, like the big building, which loses time. Can't have that. But what happens here is that because I've been spotted, the door opens to reveal two enemies. The idea is that this door will open and enemies will spawn until it goes off. So now you just come through here because the door's gone. So now you just ascend through here. Don't crouch, loses too much time, and you're not required to keep a lot of health. You just run through it, does not much damage. This might take a bit of practice, running up here and headshotting this dude. It's a bit awkward, but you'll get used to it. This part you can actually just run by like this, but it depends on your timing. There's some timings like that one where it's very, very difficult to get it. But most of the time you can just hug the wall here. If you hug the wall here, you'll be fine. And there'll be no issues. So do that, and the guy that alerted, you would just back punch him usually. So now you're going to meet this bit. This one's a bit more awkward. So there's a guard here. There's a guard there. But there's also a guard on the other side of this like, I guess it's a crate. Is it a crate? Whatever this is, right? There's cover on the opposite side, and there's an enemy as well. These three enemies are going to determine how you do for the rest of the section with the tunnel. So here's the inputs. You'll open this door, headshot this guy, headshot this guy, and then turn and also headshot the one here. Now, this has to be done pretty fast, so that when you get to this other enemy, which is going to be alerted by the headshots, they're going to be cranking their neck to the left instead of to the right, where you would be. Meaning that you can actually stealth your way through this. I'll try and demonstrate. Then this soldier will run towards you. And again, if you don't like one-shot everything, you're gonna mess up stealth. But generally, you can improv this and just run by anyway. You'll usually not have an issue. If you didn't waste sniper ammo like I did, you'll be able to just snipe this Captain Snow that runs towards you. And then after that, there's an enemy here who will be looking that way as well, and you can just back punch or headshot them, and then you're fine. If you did that full stealth, none of the enemies in the tunnels or these sections will ever come out. Now you'll notice I don't stop for the valves, and that's because for these things. And that's because they're unnecessary. So this gas, or whatever it is, does a lot of damage, but you'll have more than enough usually. The real difficulty, the only difficulty here would be activating the door correctly, so like getting a good timing for it. There's also a sentry, right? You can show it on here, on an uplink. There's a sentry bot examining the entire room here. Sometimes you just avoid this thing entirely by holding forward. If you get hit by it, it's a free boost, so that's not too bad. Generally, unless you're on like absolutely 1 HP, you're gonna survive the sentry. This gas is a problem, so you run, activate the door, and then get boosted potentially. And now you're here. Okay. So there's going to be an enemy right around here. And again, same thing. You run through and you'll use the Soviet now. Now that you have the Soviet, use the Soviet pretty much all the time. Same thing as usual, where they're going to jump a mile back whenever you alert them, so that you can just run at them and you'll get a headshot. And that avoids getting more enemies on you, because there will be another one that spawns here. Okay, so now you just generally run through this section, and then you're gonna meet this enemy. If you ran constantly and didn't stop like I did, the enemy is gonna be here. That is what you're going for. You want to be always angling down like this, so that you're ready to headshot her, because body shots will mean that this guy is going to be a problem. And that's this whole section. It's not very complicated. It's all just muscle memory, basically. So I implore you, practice, practice, practice. There's nothing better than just practicing. This section is, like, most of these sections, when you break them down, most gamers could do them. It's just whether or not they practice it. That's why Am Smasher is so hard to people, because you have to practice it first. You cannot just jump into level and beat it. This stuff is muscle memory to me. Like, yeah, I screwed up a couple times, but like, I've invested way more. It's probably 10 times as much before I got like proper practicing. Anyway, on to the next part of the level, which isn't really, it feels halfway through, but it's not. This camera is irrelevant. I'm just going to get rid of it because I don't like it. There's a sniper up here that can be a problem. I'll show it. Usually they are an issue, but you will just ignore them entirely. Just like with the first one, I recommend completely ignoring it. Ignore it, and you want to hug all the way across here. See how he's way out here? So you have no problem. You know that you just run through. And now you're here. Now you're here, and we're all good. All fine and dandy. Now we're inside the base, and the next section. And just ignore everyone here. You can headshot the guy on the right if you like, but you ignore everyone. And now again, you really can't stop, and that's the big thing about it. Like, I'm stopping because I need to explain things. Do not really stop anywhere where I'm stopping. Stopping is really bad, because it lets enemies catch up to you and punish you for your mistakes. So this next section is a bit more technical, and requires a bit of muscle memory practice again. So you shoot a grenade at this guy, shoot a grenade for the filing cabinet, because grenades can get rid of the filing cabinets, and depending on if it's single segments, which is the whole game, or it's just the level Siberia, you kill yourself in different ways when you get to this checkpoint. Now that's a lot to take in, so I'll go for it again. So you are here, you shoot this grenade, he will blow up, activate this, shoot the grenade, filing cabinet blows up, and then after all that you ignore this enemy, because you'll do this quick enough that she will not become a problem most of the time. And now you just run for here. Let's presume you're playing single segment, and then you F, because the checkpoint is like at the middle of going down the stairs, and then you retry from checkpoint. And what you'll notice is when you restart from checkpoint, all the threats behind you are no longer there, except cameras. There's 2 filing cabinets here. You're not going to destroy them now. You're actually just going to destroy them later. But you can, if you wanted to, destroy them now. But don't do it as you're coming to a checkpoint, because there's actually a very good risk you'll softlock it. I'm not going to explain why, but a GDQ runner has managed to softlock the level.
Just make sure we should be A-okay here.
You failed!
This guy that's patrolling here and he finds this dude's body, he's a problem, right? So how do we fix that? Well, we do this stupid, like, grenade shot. And that kills him. And creates, I mean, you can basically do something with downtime. So that's something we do. And then we can turn, shoot this guy, And look, there are no enemies. And we're all good. Now, I keep missing that, but you actually need to hit it on this pillar. Like, on this side of the pillar, because then both of the turrets will die. So I'm going to go through the whole process again, so you can see what it's like. You can shoot this mine to activate faster. So that's the whole section. That's what this whole, like, breakdown of the conventional way to do it. And next you're going to want to hit this button to activate a door that was previously closed over there. Now, that sounds pretty tough. Now what if I told you, you can just ignore all of this and bank your run on pure luck? Well, there is such a thing. And many already know what it is. It's Snow Door. Stupid, man. You see, for some reason, and I know someone in this community has a butcher out my explanation, enemies will pick a random node on the map to go to when they're stuck with a time mine. And if this node is on this side of the map, so like behind the door, they're going to go to that. They're going to go to that door. Yeah, first try. It's funny, actually. I got first try because you're gonna see now. I'm actually gonna go over and over again. Also, that happens where they just decide, no, I don't want to. I don't want to be stuck. What you're gonna notice is that I'm getting this very rarely. Okay, so we got it. Now, you're going to want to ignore that dude completely as he runs off and gets blown up. And go to the second door instead of the first one that you might have seen before I paused. You're going to go to the second door. And you want to open this. Now, good thing is, enemies won't from that base who are not dead will not follow you right now. So we can just do whatever we want. So you want to open this door. And be quick about this, by the way. Hit these two buttons. And basically, both these doors will open when they previously weren't. Next, you want to come into here. Now, there's multiple ways you can do this. I personally do this where I keep my gun really high and activate him, and then headshot him. That was not a good show. And I guess this is more. I guess this could be better. I just don't like the idea of being shot beforehand. But I think he is prevented from doing so. So yeah, he will die. I know you got this section. There's two enemies behind cover here. One here that you can just kill as you're running towards a computer desk, which is right there. You can see it. Once you grab this, you might notice the zombies. Once you grab this, all of these enemies, these zombies, will get up, and you'll have to kill all of them. And the thing is with zombies is they're much easier to kill just by headshotting. They die in one shot to the head, but like 30 to like body shots. There's also another enemy here behind this x-ray. If you just hold your manual aim here and then fire as soon as they move, you'll be fine. So this is the section I'm talking about. The zombies, again, you'll see how headshots are really efficient. You should do that way faster. I'm just going slow for the purpose of this tutorial. And now this section. I have mixed results with getting out of this area, but this is generally what I do. You shoot a grenade here as he turns up, headshot this guy, he should be there, throw a time mine to the pillar, blow that up, and now you're back to where you were beforehand. Where you got here and you hit this button, well, You don't need that obviously now, because you just got through the door anyway. So what are you here again for? Well, that computer disk actually meant something. You have to activate whatever the hell this is, basically, to restore power. But once you do this, a lot of things will happen. I'll try and go through them. So let's activate it. Now you have to go through here very quickly. Do move fast. Enter this door. Grab grenades and a shield. No, or armor. The reason I have to do that fast is because zombies will start moving immediately upon me activating that disc. Now, you want to go to the end of the cave that we were in. You might wonder what was ahead. Well, now you're going to find out. So you can move forward, kill these guys if you want. Now, I prefer to use mines rather than guns. This container will rise, and you have to plant 3 mines on it. And there's a time crystal here that I just grabbed. Now, mines when placed in zombies, they'll just fuck off for some reason. They'll just leave you alone. Okay, now comes a bit of a problem. So this section is a lot more technical, and you might notice the health isn't great. So this is where we have problems. You have to leave the base. Now leaving the base is a lot more complicated, and this is where most people die. And if they don't die here, they die at the helicopter fight, which is later on. So, let's run over it. You will encounter a lot of zombies, and particularly you'll encounter mutants. Now, I'm going to highlight the mutants for you. So these guys, this zombie is a mutant. You see, he's a mutant. Well, that is not a mutant. That's just a zombie. You'll know. Trust me. This is also a mutant, and he's on fire. And by the way, for fires... So now your main goal is just to get out of here. So, for fires, you can actually go over them. As soon as their death animation has stopped, they're completely still. But don't worry about that. You can't just move around it. Now as you go up here, there will be an enemy running towards you, like an actual soldier. Shoot them, and then you'll want to blow up the 2 filing cabinets on the side here before moving, for advancing. So let me see if I can show you. Remember, kill the mutants. That's the main thing. You want to kill the mutants. That mine is set specifically there because that's where it'll hit both the filing cabinets at once. Okay, so that was the whole section. Very hectic and fast-paced. So I'll try and break it down for you. So you want to kill both these enemies, because the mutants must die. These guys must die. The zombies not so much. But this is an objective. So this is a mutant, so you want to kill him. Now I'm just going to stuck a mine there, instead of actually opening the things. This guy is aggroing you specifically, that soldier. I'm shooting a grenade there to try and get this mutant early. Then a headshot him. Again, the soldiers will ignore you. That's the beauty of it. And then kill that guy so you can get his ammo and he doesn't turn you later. And now you're here. You can rewatch that if you want. It's pretty hectic, but if you just follow what I did, you'll probably end up being fine. You probably don't realize it, but you can run and usually be fine. So now you're coming to here. As soon as I'm gonna walk forward here, and there's gonna be a fire zombie that comes. You want to headshot that before it gets to this point. Then you can run right past. And that's how you do that section. You have to kill the fire zombie before he gets the chance to be in your way and burn you. And now you're going to take this elevator. Now because you reset your checkpoint, even if you didn't kill snipers earlier on, they're not here now. Neither are their weapons. And now you're at the top of the dam. Now as soon as you walk over this threshold, a boss fight will start. So, for obvious reasons, I'm in the save state. Just so you can see what's going on. Here's the explanation. So, as soon as I'm going to move over this, I'm going to count to 3, and then turn around and fire grenades where I am right now. To where I am right now, because the soldier will come and spawn here, or will come towards here, and die. And in the similar vein, another one will be coming towards from here. I'll turn around and shoot him. And then I will turn to face the helicopter. Now the helicopter will be coming towards the dam from here, from over there, and you can't shoot it on the way up. So I'm going to unload a clip into it, and you can actually hit what they call the rocket launchers on the helicopter as it's coming up. And these rocket launchers will actually do a fair bit of damage to you if they hit. So I recommend it. But if you don't want to do that, just keep shooting with a Soviet, and then as they're like actually rising, you can shoot grenades like this, and hit them as well as they're landing, or as they're coming up, which I like to do as well. Alright, let me see if I can actually show it in action. Watch. 1, 2, 3. So I'm going to aim at the head of the helicopter actually, because that will deal essentially a critical hit. And yeah, once you nail it down, it's actually very consistent. And the Timesport will spawn right there, and that's the end of the level. So it's not, all in all, it's not a very complicated level once you actually break it down. A lot of people just get like polarized by it. It's quite jarring. And yeah, that's basically all that's all the level really has to offer. It's actually quite a long level, in fairness. The level is quite long, but I would say that once you really do break it down and just practice, you'll find like the consistency can be found. But like you're always gonna suffer. There are always gonna be problems. But that's the fun of hard story for me. Is that it's very much a challenge. Always a challenge to hard story, no matter how good I get at it, or how consistent I get. But yeah, that's pretty much gonna do it. Again, I highly recommend you rewatch stuff, because it's really not as simple as it looks for some stuff. I'm simply giving the explanation as best as I can, and you need to make the correct assessments about what you're doing wrong. But again, any questions, you know, leave them down in the comments, or just honestly go to the speedrunning, the TS2 speedrunning Discord, or just more of a Timesplitters general speedrunning Discord. But we have a channel for TS2, and I highly recommend you ask any questions you might have. And I hope this at least gives people a bit of insight into how these levels actually feel to play and like look, and to recognize where runs are good or bad or crazy or busted. You know, just the ability to recognize that is good enough for me. I'm not asking anyone to get in this game and just immediately start speedrunning and being good at it. These things take time. Some people don't have like good technical movement generally in any game, and that's fine. So just be proud of whatever you get, whatever time you get, as long as you're putting a time out there. That's good enough, honestly. And if you're improving on that, even if it's 1 minute behind world record, good shit. Keep improving. Keep poking at it, and eventually you'll start to see that it's like a mental barrier. But the more times you just throw yourself at it, getting more game overs, you're actually going to start to overcome it. Because as the old saying goes, you know, things will simply get better if you just believe it will. Anyway, thanks for coming to my TED Talk. This isn't going to be well edited. It's purely just like putting my thoughts together, because really it's kind of hard to convey otherwise. Anyways, that'll be it for today. And hope you enjoyed. Peace.